Thanks, Bill, and delighted to be with you all today and talk about the topic we've been assigned, which is new tools for a new era. And I do believe that we are in a new era for management, a revolution of management. And let me just sketch out briefly what I think the nature of this revolution is before we hear from five exciting speakers who will talk about their journey and the tools that they are using to prosper in this new environment. And in the first place, I think it's a transition from 20th century management. And 20th century management had three core principles. Make money for the firm, maximize shareholder value has been the catch cry of large organizations for the last 50 years and is still, despite the language, driving most big organizations, particularly in the US. Work then is organized as a bureaucracy, individuals reporting to bosses. And thirdly, it's a top-down hierarchy. Those three principles, making money, bureaucracy, and hierarchy, they are the principles of 20th century management. That is what we are transitioning from. Sadly, many corporations have not transitioned. They are still precisely in that mode. And I would also say that many business schools, none represented here, are teaching that management as the way to prosper in the world. And many articles and books are written assuming that that is what management is about. But as I say, I believe we are now in a revolution, and the three opposite characteristics drive firms, organizations in this revolution. So the goal of the organization shifts from making money for the firm to an obsession with creating value for the customer. Everyone in the organization focusing their work on delivering value for the customer. This was proposed by Peter Drucker back in 1954 and is now becoming a reality when firms actually take that seriously, not just mouthing the words, but actually have the whole organization revolving around that. And Hay is an example exactly of that. Secondly, there's a shift from bureaucracy to self-organizing teams working in short cycles, delivering value to customers, a radically different way of organizing work. And thirdly, a network, not a top-down hierarchy, but a network. Those are the three main characteristics of the revolution that we'll be talking about in this session. And the five organizations we have are in various stages of that. The first, we will have Odin Hughes, the Director of Enterprise Agility at American Express, a company that is explicitly embracing agile principles. When I told Bill earlier, let's not talk about whether this is agile or not. Let's just talk about whether it's 21st century management. And Odin will explain what that's meant in the American Express context. Another firm that is also explicitly agile and on an agile journey is Cerner, and we'll have Miriam Schwartz, Director of the Agile Center of Excellence at Cerner, explaining what this has meant for them. And those two firms are part of the SD Learning Consortium, which are a group of firms which have been sharing experiences over the last 5 years so that they learn from each other on how to participate in the journey. We'll also be hearing from Ard Leffering, the co-founder of this exciting firm, Booksorg, and how that functions. Here, I'm not sure they would use the term agile, but whether they do or not, they are obviously a firm that is implementing exactly the principles that I laid out, those three principles. We'll also hear from Giulio Quagliotto, the head of UNDP, Strategic Innovation. And I think, as we discussed in the preparatory session, they are at a sort of an earlier stage of the transition and interested in learning from other organizations as to how this journey plays out. And so you'll have a picture of firms at different stages in the journey. And finally, Javi Salcedo, the president of the NER Group, a member of the K2K cultural transformation. So without further ado, let me turn to Odin Hughes, and she will tell us the exciting story of American Express.